Welcome to Domain 2, Section 2.7, the AI Threat Landscape. In this session, we will map the full range of threats AI introduces, both technical and non-technical, look at specific technical attacks in detail, and cover system vulnerabilities and the new threats that AI itself enables. Why does this matter beyond the exam? AI widens the attack surface in ways traditional security never had to consider. Understanding this landscape lets you recognize an AI-specific attack when you see one, defend the models and data others overlook, and weigh the human and societal threats that no firewall can stop. Let's begin with AI's dual nature. The same technology that removes barriers and boosts efficiency can also deepen isolation, perpetuate discrimination, and accelerate job displacement. Because of that, threats now span both technical and non-technical territory, reaching the enterprise and society alike, far beyond the old focus on confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Let me lay out the key categories of AI-specific threats. There is regulatory risk from fragmented rules across regions. There are adversarial attacks that trick a model into a wrong decision, like nudging a vision system to misread a critical signal. There is data poisoning of the training data. There are data privacy and security breaches. There are insider threats from staff who steal or sabotage. There is a lack of explainability that hides errors and erodes trust. And there is model theft, where the algorithm and its parameters are copied outright. Beyond the models themselves, systemic risks come from outside dependencies. Supply chain vulnerabilities across data, hardware, and software libraries, and vendor lock-in, where leaning on a single provider means their outage becomes yours. These threats map onto familiar business risk categories. Competitive risk, if rivals steal data or models or disrupt your services. Fines and penalties, if you operate AI in breach of regulation. Productivity risk, from operational downtime. Reputational risk, from lost trust. And response risk, the cost of recovering from an incident. It also helps to picture the threat actors, insiders, state-backed groups, ordinary cybercriminals, and even AI developers who build biased systems. To organize all this, security teams can lean on a public knowledge base of adversarial tactics against AI, maintained by a respected research body, much like the attack matrices used in mainstream cybersecurity. Now let's go deeper into the technical threats. Because while AI faces all the usual software threats, its models, algorithms, and data create unique ones. A helpful lens groups AI threats into 3 attack surfaces: development time threats during building, runtime threats from ordinary, non-AI weaknesses in the surrounding infrastructure, and threats through use, which arise during normal input and output activity. Let me detail the most important technical attacks, starting with 3. Training data leakage happens when weak access controls let real data escape from the development environment, where a single line of code in an analysis notebook can quietly copy data outside the organization's control. Data poisoning inserts malicious data into the training set, and it can enter at the source, through a supplier, in transit, during pre-processing, or through an external knowledge base, creating either a hidden backdoor or outright sabotage. And model poisoning corrupts the model itself by poisoning its data, directly altering its parameters or libraries, or tampering with a third-party pre-trained model. The technical attacks continue. Model theft copies a valuable model, which can cost a fortune to build, either by stealing its files or by probing it with crafted inputs until a copy can be reconstructed. Prompt injection feeds the model-crafted text that overrides its original instructions, much like a classic database injection attack. And it is popular because it needs no special access. Model evasion tweaks an input to slip past the model's correct judgment, like altering a malicious message just enough to be wrongly rated safe. And model inversion works the opposite way, probing the model to extract sensitive training data, infer whether a specific record was used, or even reconstruct the dataset. Now to the non-technical threats, which are uniquely challenging because ethical concerns cannot be patched and biased decisions have no hot fix. These are wide-ranging. They include hallucinations and bias amplification, over-reliance on AI as if it were infallible, job displacement, and societal manipulation through deepfakes and disinformation. The list runs further still. Compute costs and skill gaps, brand-damaging AI scandals, regulatory infractions, black box opacity, strategic misalignment from chasing AI hype, privacy intrusion through surveillance, market manipulation, unpredictable rogue behavior, AI-powered cybercrime, heavy energy and water consumption, and geopolitical trade restrictions. Security managers must fold all of these into the risk process because traditional technical controls simply do not reach them. Two final pieces complete the landscape. First, AI system vulnerabilities. The interconnectedness of AI expands the attack surface. Perimeters blur and assets are decentralized. So beyond traditional network defenses, you must restrict lateral movement and strengthen identity-based controls. And second, AI-enabled threats, where attackers weaponize AI itself, using purpose-built malicious models, crafting convincing deepfake audio and video that defeats old training, and optimizing every stage of an attack into sharper malware, ransomware, and phishing. Let's bring it all together. AI's threat landscape fuses technical and human-centric risk. Technical attacks include data and model poisoning, model theft, prompt injection, evasion, and inversion, organized across development, runtime, and use. Non-technical threats span ethics, bias, workforce, society, environment, and law, none of which can be patched. And AI both expands system vulnerabilities and arms attackers with new capabilities, demanding defenses that reach well beyond the traditional perimeter. You now have a complete map of how AI can be attacked. Every important topic and idea from this session is covered in the multiple choice questions on RooCloud.com. Before you move on to the next session, work through the chapter-wise questions there, because this landscape is dense and recall is what makes it stick. Practice first and then move forward with confidence. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.